All right. Well, Dr. Sharps, I am so happy that you are here this morning. You have influenced my life in such an amazing way, everything that I've learned at the Institute. But it's this concept of food combining that was most intriguing to me. Like I said, I grew up eating colorfully, but I never knew that depending on what you pair which food with,
That's right.
you can lose some of the nutrients. And basically it's because foods digest at different rates. So why don't you tell us about that?
Well, first of all, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here. And let me congratulate you on the success
Thank
of your
you.
recent book, the 30-Day Faith Detox.
Thank you.
But food combining is one of those things that a lot of nutritionists really don't talk about. There's two real important aspects of nutrition. One is eating the right foods. And I talk about that in terms of my hierarchy of nutrients, the most important nutrients to the least important nutrients. And I put that in the context of the health continuum, which talks about dynamic vitality, optimum health, suboptimum health, and debilitating illness. And it's interesting when you look at the hierarchy of nutrients, people are eating at the lower level, and they also are experiencing suboptimal health.
Now, what would those lower level foods be?
Those lower level, well, let me go through the 5 categories very quickly. There's 5 categories. The first one is air, water, sunlight, and the Earth's magnetic field. So people say, well, wait a minute. You're talking about the most important nutrients to the least important nutrients. God blesses us so much. We are so abundantly blessed that we take for granted the blessings that we have. We don't even consider air a nutrient.
That's right.
But nothing on this planet can live with. No biological function can live without air.
And let me just interrupt you and say that was really a revelation to me.
Right.
I'm a writer. I stay inside all the time. I could live inside and never go outside, right? I take vitamin D supplements because I just don't ever go outside.
That's right.
But when I learned that you need to go outside every day and take an air bath.
That's right.
So now I do that. My husband will say, where are you going? You're like dressed and going out of the house. I'm going to go get an air bath. So continue, I'm sorry.
So you need air, you need it externally, you need it internally. That's the first food group. Then people say, well, wait a minute, what are we giving all these teeth for? What are we going to masticate? What are we going to chew on? The second food group is fruits and vegetables. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. The third group is legumes and grains, which surprises a lot of people because that's the staple, and that's what a lot of nutritionists promote, that should be the most that you should eat. But fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. As you said, in Genesis, we have been given the prescription for health. The divine prescription for health and vitality and what we should have from a nutritional standpoint. The fourth food group, God is still involved, is meat and dairy, which surprises a lot of people. And then the fifth group is processed or refined foods, which God had nothing to do with. No. That's the food industry. And so you look at that and you look at where most people are eating, they're eating the meat, dairy, and the processed foods, and that's where you see a lot of the health issues occurring in terms of the suboptimal health to debilitating illness, and there's certain percentages in those. And then there's the other side, which this is the context. So even if you're eating the right foods, why do Christians get sick? Why do people eating the right food? Why do they still have these health issues? It's not only eating the right foods, but eating foods right.
Yes.
And that's where food combining is one of those very important principles.
What are the basics? Give us something. Give us the one thing we should not do.
Well, how about liquids with meals? That's one. Water is very important, but it's a mistake to combine your water with your food. Why? If you understand the physiology of digestion, there are 3 macronutrients: carbohydrates, fats, and proteins.
Right.
And that's really the significance of the importance. Everybody thinks it's protein, but it's carbohydrates, fats, and protein. Fats are digested in the carbohydrates are digested in the mouth. That's where the amylases are, and it requires an alkaline solution. Protein digestion actually takes place in the stomach, okay? And you require a very strong acid. You need hydrochloric acid.
Right.
There's a dormant enzyme, pepsinogen. It's stimulated when you take in protein, and it secretes acid, and that's what you need for protein. And then
fats. Let me see if I got this right in school. They don't digest till the small intestines.
Ooh,
I'm good. Okay.
And the duodenum. That's right. And so you have these 3 stations.
Yeah.
So food combining has to do with understanding the physiology of digestion, and then it's the timing and the types of enzymes that are required. So carbohydrates require amylases, a more alkaline type of solution,
Right.
Protein, an acid solution, and then the fats, they have to be emulsified. So they're digesting, as you said, it passes through. You still have to chew it and break it up into the appropriate morsels.
Right.
But then when it goes to the duodenum, that's when the bile emulsifies them,
Right.
and then the appropriate enzymes
let's
from
say
the pancreas breaks it down further.
Well, then let's say that you have, two entirely good foods, but you put them together.
Right.
I know you've talked in the past about protein. I've heard you preach on this, that protein and carbohydrates mixed together. And what is that? That's the American sandwich, that's steak and potatoes, that's any hamburger.
got it.
So when we come back,
Rice and
I want
beans.
us to talk about that, because
Okay.
I guarantee you every one of us struggles right in that area.
Yeah, that's one of the major compromises.
Well, we'll talk about that in just a minute. That was revelation to me. We're going to be right back. Please stay close, because you're going to want to hear what Dr. Sharps has to say. Again, you're going to change your health and change your world one plateful at a time. Hi, everybody. I'm Laura Harris-Smith, and I am on location here in Columbia, Maryland, and I am at the International Institute of Original Medicine. Of course, we've been in the studio with Dr. Jim, but now I've come north actually for a wonderful occasion, and that is the International Institute of Original Medicine's graduation. And this is Dr. Jim's wife, Dr. Elisa Sharps. Thank you for having us, and thank you for having this wonderful event. I wanted to just ask you a few questions. I've just had a blast interviewing and getting to know Dr. Jim, but wanted to just ask you your perspective on the school. I understand that it had already been around for a while. In about 2010, you really jumped on board. What has happened since that, or how old is the school actually?
Well, it's about 13 years old.
Okay.
And I got involved with it because I saw that the interest was so high.
Okay.
And I just wanted to take it to another level.
Right.
And so I started overseeing what was already happening in the school and started making some changes and started
Wow.
making changes to staff, to curriculum. And I started, with those changes, the school was growing even faster.
Wow.
We do no advertising. We have one ad in our school is really growing.
And this is going to be great advertising, actually. This is why I'm doing that, is because I want people to know this is the only, and I think Dr. Jim said this in the first segment, this is the only biblically based body, mind, and spirit accredited school out there, anywhere in the world. And so that's exciting. It's my alma mater, and it's so exciting to me to be a part of this. So you're saying then that you wound up coming in 2010 and really administratively you took things and took it to a whole new level, but then you yourself became a naturopathic doctor.
I did. And looking at how the classes were going to change, I was
Right.
going through the classes, through the editing, I was taking classes, and so I just kept taking more classes, and before I knew it, I had actually taken more classes than was needed to have my doctorate degree. And so I finally decided that might as well become a doctor, finished up
Right.
the dissertation, and became a doctor myself in 2011.
That is amazing. All right, now we're here at the graduation. I heard you say there were 40 countries represented at this graduation. Okay,
Yes.
so tell me a little bit about that. What is it like to run an international hub for so many different minds, but you're training them in the same exact vision? What is that like?
It's wonderful. You'd be surprised that because we all have the same vision, it's easy to work with them, and it's so different in all the countries, but they all need the same thing.
Right.
And so it's just been wonderful, and it's been wonderful to think that they all were willing to come out and travel to be part of our first graduation.
Yeah. So then the school's been around for quite a while, and you decided to finally have a ceremony and get everybody together and get them walking, which I think is just a phenomenal idea. Distance learning, for those of you who have been a part of distance learning, it's hidden. It's a very hidden work, and it feels wonderfully affirming to be able to come in and have that tassel turned and just know I did it.
Yes.
In fact, I'm graduating today. So I'm going to go in and graduate. I actually have, I got to go in to get my cap and gown. And because it is the very first ceremony from the school, you actually are going to walk with us.
That's
even though
right.
she got her degree long ago, and I actually came to IIOM and I became a nutritionist several years ago. But then I decided to go through their bachelor program, and now I'm in your master's program, and I'm going through to my doctorate as well. Pray for me.
And
I got to get all the way
thanks
through.
to Laura, we are having this very first graduation because she encouraged me as well as the students from far and wide. And so here we are, and I'm so happy we're here.
I'm just a cheerleader, that's it. You guys are the champions, you're the heroes. All right, well, thank you again. And we're actually, after the break, we're going to go back to interview Dr. Jim. What's it like living with Dr. Jim Sharps?
Oh, it's a challenge.
It's
And
got to
it's
be exciting.
fun, and you learn so much
I
every
can only
day.
imagine. I can only imagine. Thank you so much.
Thank
Looking
you
forward
for
to the
having me.
ceremony.
With honors, graduating with honors is Laura Harris Smith. She received her degree in 2017 for her bachelor's, and she's continuing through the various programs that we have. She has the Certified Nutritional Counselor. She has graduated with her bachelor's. She's going through her master's, and she will also be receiving her doctorate.
Now, what I didn't tell you about Laura Harris was she's a pastor, she's an author, she's a TV personality, she's a host of the TV. I don't know how she does what she does. Now, if you look around, but the point I want to make is if you want to get something done, give it to a woman.
Welcome back, everyone. This is a convicting conversation we're having today, but it's one that you need to hear. So I'm here with Dr. James Sharps, and I'm just going to ask you, just cut to the chase. What is the one thing we need to not do in food combining?
Carbohydrates and protein is probably the biggest one.
Okay.
Carbohydrates require an alkaline solution. Protein requires an acid solution. You mix the two solutions together, and basic chemistry tells you you weaken the integrity of either, so you don't get complete digestion of the carbohydrates or the protein. The carbohydrates ferment, the protein tends to putrefy, and then you can see a whole host of gastrointestinal and other health issues that result from
So
that.
then it just sits in our gut and rots.
Exactly.
And then we run out and take an antacid.
Exactly.
But then that shuts down the digestive juices that are trying to digest this
That's right.
mess. Okay, so it's
Exactly.
like this endless cycle. Tell us about fruit. I love the saying you have about fruit.
Well, fruit, eat it alone or leave it alone. It's one of the most efficient foods that there is out there. It only takes about 20 to 30 minutes to digest, to leave the stomach. But the way the digestive system works, it works on the most complex things first. So if you have fruit with or after your meal, it sits there to wait for the more complex food to be digested, and therefore it ferments.
What is it? What happens to fruit when you leave it outside?
Exactly.
In
It
98-degree
rots.
weather.
Exactly, in the heat.
So that's what happens in your gut.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
And so that's another one of the big ones. So a watermelon, it's 90% plus water.
Right.
It's the most efficient, and that was the biggest one. See, I used to think I was a health enthusiast. I'd eat my barbecue chicken or whatever, and then I'd have my watermelon and wonder why I was doubled over in pain. And say, well, I'm trying to be good.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are doing good things wrongly, if that's a
Right.
word.
Eating the right things at the wrong
In the
time.
in the wrong way. And so fats with carbohydrates, fruit with even fruits with vegetables
Interesting.
is a problem. Fats with protein is a problem. Sugar with anything is a problem. And so you can see how the bacon and eggs with grits,
Right.
with a
boy.
swath of butter.
Oh, you're in the South. Hang on. Wait, watch out.
Exactly. Exactly. How But these are things, if you understand these principles
Right.
and use them appropriately, you improve your digestive efficiency, you significantly enhance your energy, and you have significantly better health
You
outcomes.
live longer, no doubt.
Add 15 to 30 productive years to your life with
I'm
proper
all about
nutrition.
that. I'm all about that. I want more time. All right, we have just a couple of minutes left. I want you to talk about the school.
Okay.
It changed my life. So it's a distance learning university. Tell us about the International Institute of Original Medicine.
It is the only accredited biblically based natural health institute of higher learning in the entire world that does distance learning training. And it provides both certificate and degree programs, certified nutrition counselor, certified herbalist, certified medical missionary,
Right.
and then the bachelor's, master's, and doctorate. It is the most powerful system known to man for preventing and reversing all chronic degenerative diseases. And so our school is designed to equip and qualify practitioners and professionals in this most powerful system known to man.
Right.
And it is basically teaching people God's divine prescription
Yeah.
for health and healing.
And that's original medicine.
Original medicine is basically taking it back to the originator, to not the counterfeit, the first cause, the author of both the moral law and the natural law. And that's what the foundational principle behind the original medicine school. There's many schools of naturopathy,
Right.
but we focus on 7 aspects, all the 7 aspects of health. But we're the only ones that do original medicine. We also do the alternative medicine and the conventional medicine and the botanical medicine and the nutrition and the health assessment. But we have the foundation as the original medicine. And everybody, I don't care what your background is, has to take concepts of original medicine, which takes it back to the creator, the owner of us, body, mind, and spirit.
Right. He knows exactly what we
All
need.
aspects.
Well, so they can go to iiomonline.com. And if you're like me, I wanted to just go and learn and get certified. So I became a certified nutritionist, and I was hooked.
Par excellence, you forgot to tell them. She's being very modest. She gets a special, people that excel, and it's less than 10%, get a special designation on their certificates and diplomas. And Laura Harris Smith happens to be one of those. We have many value students. This is the caliber of students we have in our school.
It's a great school. It's wonderful. And
We have
what I
great
did was I
students.
went in and became certified, and then I just had to keep going. So then I went back and got my degree.
Bachelor's.
I actually dropped out of college, and I was a young mom, so I had never finished college. So finally, at the age of 53, I am now a college graduate, and that's exciting. That's really exciting. So you could do the same thing, and I've told so many people about the school. It has not just opened new doors for me with my readers. I can give them advice now that's grounded on information that's solid.
That's right.
But I can also, just add years to my life. I feel like I'm in my 20s. I feel better than I have ever felt in my entire life.
And look at her. It's not a feeling, it's a fact.
It's a blessing.
It's a blessing.
It's a big blessing as well.
Yes.
Well, I am thankful that you have been with us here today. I am thankful for the Institute.
Thank you.
And I want to just tell people again, you can go to iiomonline.com and you can do this. You can do it for yourself, you can do it for your family, and you can also just do it because you want to you want to just maybe improve the way that you're able to communicate to others. Maybe you're into the medical field and you want to improve yourself, your ability to teach others. And that's what the Institute is all about. Well, everybody, I'm thankful that you were here with us today. Thank you, Dr. Sharps, for coming
pleasure.
in.
It's
Yes,
been
for
an honor.
traveling and being with us. We appreciate all of you folks. Don't miss the next episode of The 3. You're going to love it too. Take care, everybody.